A lot going on here today. We got 4 Foam South trucks here today. He said they're gonna do all the insulation today. I want to talk about some of the insulation details that we did here in the house to ensure that we get a good, nice, tight house. You can see we have a mixture of bats and spray foam. Because we did the zip system sheathing on the house, we get a good, tight, airtight seal all the way around the house. All the windows are taped, with the exception of the bottom flange, and then the foam creates that insulation barrier. But all of the exterior envelope of this house is taped up tight, so we don't have the air leakage around the outside like you would on a normal house. And I paid really good attention to those details all the way around. And then the next most notorious spot for air leakage is actually in your rim board. And even if you tape the rim, even if you zip tape, there's going to be places on your rim where you're going to get air leakage. And one of those cases was like where our porch intersected right here. So our porch has a little hip and it kind of comes down at an angle right to there. And the framing guys didn't quite understand the importance of the air sealing. So what I actually did is I came in after them and I used some polyiso foam insulation board, and I cut it into pieces. They call this the cut and cobble method. So I cut it into pieces. It's super easy to cut. You just use a utility knife. You just need a little straight edge and a utility knife, and you can cut it. It's super fast. Cut it a little bit, like have it fit tight in a couple places just so it's got a friction fit, but then leave some gaps in some other places, which means just kind of, you can actually cut it kind of crooked. Because it'll kind of grab in 2 places and then it'll have a gap in the other. And then you just get some canned spray foam and a foam gun, and you just run that bead around the rest of the places. And that will get you nice and sealed up. So I came in and sealed all these eaves here where the rafters came down. I sealed everything up as tight as I could. There were still a little bit of gaps because I knew that the spray foam guys were going to come in later and spray foam. So the spray foam guys actually sprayed down to the top of the top plate of the wall down here in these attic spaces. So we got a good, nice, tight air seal all the way around. So we've got a good, tight air seal all the way around here. You can see that. So it laps all the way down. And then our sheathing, our zip sheathing, is sealed tight and taped all the way around. So we don't have any air leakage in our wall cavities. Our wall cavities are nice and tight. So then all we need the bats for is just for the R value of the insulation. And another thing I opted to do on this house is we went with 2x6 walls. And the reason I did that is A, for insulation value. So we get an R19 in the walls. And secondly, 2x6s are typically straighter and stronger. So you get a little bit stronger of a house, and you get a straighter wall. 2x4s are notorious for getting crazy wonky. I mean, you can see in some places where I've got blocking in here, and that's because we had to cut some of these studs because they got super warped because they're 2x4s. I really, in hindsight, should have 2x6'd this wall, and I think it was in the plans that way, but somehow I missed this. The framers framed it up. I missed it, and we had already had all the plumbing and stuff in at that point, and then I realized, like, oh crap, we should have actually framed this in with a 2x6 wall, because as you can see, we've got a lot of stuff going on in this wall. We got a lot of plumbing here. So I wanted to make sure that we got a nice, good straight wall. So I came through here with a straight edge with a 6-foot level, and I made sure that all the studs were straight. So we cut them. What you can basically do is cut them at an angle like this. And if it's bowed, like let's say it's bowed out it's bowed out, let's say it's bowed out this way. So you'll cut an angle that way, and then the stud will kind of fall in, and then you just put a bunch of nails or screws into where you did your cut, and that'll tighten it back up. And you can do that in a few spots, and it'll pull that stud straight. You want to do that on just sort of interior walls. You don't want to do that on like too much on the load-bearing walls because you don't want to hack them up. This is kind of a load-bearing wall, so that's why I came in and actually sistered another 2x4 onto it, next to it, just to give it a little bit of additional bracing, because we did cut it and put put a cut into it. So, all right. So insulation around the outside. So we did, again, we spray foamed the whole roof deck. So we have what's called a hot roof now. That's all spray foamed all the way around. So that gives us a good, nice, that gives us tight. We did open cell spray foam. You know, it's a lower R value per inch, but it's significantly cheaper. And in fact, the price difference to do open cell foam versus doing bats is not that much more money to do open cell foam. Some people are like, oh, why didn't you do open cell in your walls? And it's because I didn't really need to. And it can save a few dollars there. It wasn't really necessary because I did have my air seal everywhere else. So we did that. Obviously, all of our doors are spray foamed and insulated all the way around. Plus, on all of our exterior doors, I actually zip taped the door jamb to the sheathing on the outside. So we have an air seal all the way around the doors on the outside with zip tape. And some of the doors that came with the pre-applied brick mold, I actually used a sealant all the way around, caulk, Lexel sealant, to actually make that airtight seal. So we're airtight all the way around. And then another spot, which we have a cantilever up here. So I wanted to make sure that, so you can see here, there's a little bit of a cantilever. And the zip there is the exterior wall, and that's interior space above it. So we've spray foamed that whole area. So we spray foamed in the side, and then on the inside it's spray foamed. And you can see how they did the blocking, and there were some gaps. So they came in before and they sprayed canned foam in there to seal it up good. And then when the spray foam guys came in with the actual spray foam, they sprayed all the way down to the bottom plate. So we've got a good, nice, tight air seal up there all the way around. We've got a good layer of foam, and we foam this bottom side because these areas are notorious for being very cold. So we've got good insulation there. Over here, you can also see, you see that flat area? So on this porch, on the outside, the framers framed in what you might call a firewall. They just continued the straight wall all the way up. Because there's a roof above this, and it just dies into the roof. There's not a second story right above us there. You can see how the roof just sort of slopes down and changes pitch from the 12-12 into, we did a 3 and 12 for the porch roof. So we basically just framed a firewall all the way across there. And then the spray foam guys sprayed foam onto that firewall. I'm actually going to probably penetrate that at some point up there in the attic space because I need to create an access. I'll create an access door, or I will have a way to get access. I won't cut it until I absolutely need to, but I have a way to create access into that attic space right up here. I can come in through this little attic area and actually cut a hole in the wall and the foam, and I can get out into this attic space if I really, really needed to. So it's one thing that we thought about doing. All right, other insulation details. We used rock wool there in the chimney cavity just for a fire block and to insulate it off so you don't get that. Unfortunately, you can't really stop the air movement through this cavity because you can't put insulation up tight against that flue pipe. Even rock wool, which is crazy because rock wool is not flammable, but you're not allowed to touch it per the manufacturer specs. So it is what it is. So we'll go in here in the bathroom. You can see we've got spray foam on the rim. Why is Siri talking? I don't want Siri. You got spray foam on the top plates all the way around. And then we also, we just put insulation in the walls here, in the interior walls for, well, this is a stairwell to the basement, so we were required to here. But like between the bathroom and this room and all that, we just did that just for sound deadening purposes, just to prevent some of the sound transmission. Obviously, it's not here because this is part of the master closet, but that's another room there. So just to slow down some of the sound transmission. It's not perfect. This is not a sound deadened room by any means. If you were going to do that, you want to make sure you're using, 2 layers of drywall and acoustical sealant and all that stuff. We're not doing all that. We're not going to that extreme. But looks like it's raining a little bit more. Hopefully I didn't leave my door open to my truck. Hold on. I think I closed it. Okay. In the garage here, talking about insulation. We opted to spray foam this entire ceiling in the garage here because we've got that the kids' playroom upstairs, and those areas over a garage are notorious for getting cold and hot in the summer. So we did this just to make sure it's sealed up really good and insulated really well. So we've got a good R value there dividing these spaces. And then they insulated the stairs there. We'll go upstairs to that room, and we're still taped. Oh, we also did bats in the garage, which you don't have to. You're not required by code. But every house I've built where I could, I insulated the garage. Makes a big difference. And we've got these thick 2.5 inch thick insulated doors. So this garage will actually stay very temperate, which is nice. We've got spray foam here. So we spray foam this whole roof deck all the way around. We did run bats in the walls here in these little dormer walls. But everything else is all spray foamed. So we've got a good tight envelope up here for the kids' playroom. So this room will not get crazy. It won't have crazy temperature swings. Plus, we've got a dedicated HVAC system in here. We've got a mini split system up in here. So we'll have a 12,000 BTU, 1 ton ductless mini split that will mount on the wall. It'll be a Daikin unit. So that will heat and cool this space here. And then the rest of the house will be serviced by the furnace and the air conditioner. We've got natural gas heat for the rest of the house. So we'll be covered in the heat department. We also insulated all of the bathroom walls, the bedroom walls, just to sort from a sound deadening perspective to isolate all these rooms from one another, create some sound deadening so you're not hearing everything going on all the way around. So, all right, coming around here, again, spray foamed whole roof assembly. And then another thing that we made sure that we did is you see where these little walls come down, and the framers put this blocking in here for the drywall backing. I came in here and actually drilled some holes in there into those cavities so that the spray foam guy could actually stick the spray foam gun in there and squirt it in there and fill those voids back there with spray foam so we get insulation. So make sure you do that so that you don't miss those spots. So the spray foam guys were able to insulate into those little cavities there. So that's another little tip. All right. Well, that's it, guys. Hope that helps. Talk to you later. Bye. All right, all of the drywall is hung. Finish crew will come tomorrow and start finishing, mudding and taping. It's looking good in here. So this is the kids' playroom. The little attic spaces there. That's the little soffit that we had to frame in for the mini split to mount to. So the ductless mini split will mount right up there on that wall over the window. I went ahead and actually cut in the sun tunnels today, and put not the final trim on, but the rough trim there. So that gives you an idea of like the brightness in this hallway. Like that's super bright. So coming through here, it's so much brighter in here now that the drywall's up, because you got the light reflecting off of everything. Did they screw that in? I guess they did. Oh, there must be a... No, I see one of the other framing members is loose. So here's the other sun tunnel in the bathroom there. Super bright. That's the bathroom space. Super bright. The sun's on the back side of the house right now, so it's getting like all the light right now. There's another sort of like diffuser trim kit that fits in there that's like sort of frosted, so you don't actually see the inside of the tunnel. And then like a clear plastic sort of trim kit that goes over the top of that. So here's the here's my office right here. So this room's done. It is so like cool in this house. It's like 72 degrees outside today. But even still, like it gets hot up here. It's so cool up here. Who's over? Got somebody over there. I wonder what they're doing. Looks great. So here's Carter's bedroom, and we'll go down the hallway, and we've got a little sitting area right here. And you got the attic space, got the stairs there. Here's the other bathroom, super bright in here with the sun tunnel. So glad we opted to do those. It's just super bright in there. There's Mason's bedroom. The framers, the way they cut that, they ended up having to notch that out. So when they mud and tape and all that stuff, they're going to have to actually fix that a little bit better. It was protruding down in the space a little bit. There is like a little bit of a hump right there. We're going to have to try to figure that out. See if the finishers can pound it in there and then just mud and tape it. The truck's parked over there, but where is he? I don't know where he is. So here we go. This is the guest bedroom right here. So we'll go downstairs. Walk down the stairs. Look at that. Wide open spaces. There's the tray ceiling in the living room. I'm glad we decided to make that bigger. Definitely looks way better. So, got the double doors. Walk around here to the master. Looks good. Master bath. Oh, I need to mark. I'll do that here in a second. I need to measure and mark for the tub. I've got the actual dimensions. We've got the tub sitting in our storage unit, so it's ready to go in. Master closet. So each side has a window in here. A window over there. There's a window over the shower. They left that off because we're going to do Schluter Curdy systems. So we'll put Curdy board up on those walls for the tile. Thermostat will be right there. Dining room area. And those of you who do the 14679 RK plan or have done it, we changed it around a little bit. We did take the plan and sort of make a decent amount of modifications. One of the things we did is actually got rid of the pantry that was here and made basically the laundry, mudroom, everything all one room. So you walk in here and the washer and dryer will be right here and that. And then we did the pantry is actually here where I think this is the pocket office in that plan. So this room is now the pantry. And then this is the sort of mud room, entry room, laundry room, all-purpose space. And then we put a powder bath right here, which I think that was already in the plan for a bathroom right here. Or maybe it wasn't, I don't remember. And here's the garage. I made the garage bigger. So made it 25 feet by 36 feet wide with 10-foot doors, 10 by 8 doors. And then we took, we got some sheets of drywall left over. That's pretty close. They did this whole house and only had 2, 4, 6, 8, like 10 sheets left. That's good. And those were damaged ones too. So this is like we just basically turned what this was the whatchamacallit? Pool bath or whatever, I think, in the plan, and this is just like a storage closet now, off of the garage. So this is just, we just finished that space under the stairs and made it into a storage closet. So it's looking good. And then we had to drywall downstairs. We drywall my workshop space with 5/8 drywall because it's considered a garage. They're calling it a garage because it has a garage door, so it needed to be drywalled the stairwell here, and then the basement, that's required by code. And come around this corner and we've got this whole room.